Coming up on the Movie Film Show today, we're going to be reviewing Amazon's latest movie, Without Remorse. On top of that, we're going to be taking a look at some of the biggest trailers of the week, including trailers for Luca, a new Chris Pratt movie which looks strange, a new Jason Statham movie, and a trailer for Steven Spielberg's next big project. But there's only one place to start this week, and that's with the Academy Awards. So I might be a day late and $1 short with this one. I really wanted to feature it last week on last week's Movie Film Show, but I record these on a Saturday or a Sunday, and of course the Academy Awards happened last Sunday after I'd already recorded. Mentioned it previously on the show. So we're going to just delve into some of the news about it this week. Well, it turns out I didn't miss too much because pretty much everything we expected to happen happened. You know, Nomadland picked up Best Picture, Best Director, and Best Actress. I was hoping Carey Mulligan was going to get Best Actress. I thought she was phenomenal in Promising Young Woman. Wasn't to be. I haven't seen Nomadland. Even still, it's only just come out here in Ireland. It's now on Disney Plus. I'm hoping to get a review for that maybe next week. The big shock obviously did come at the end of the night where for some reason they decided to put Best Actor as the last award, which is very, very strange. I don't think they've ever done that before. I could be wrong, but I don't think they have. And then on top of that, they give the award to Anthony Hopkins. Now, Anthony Hopkins, phenomenal actor, been in some great movies down the years, been some iconic characters. The man is a great actor and fully deserves the acclaim for that. But Chadwick Boseman's not going to get another opportunity to win an Academy Award, unfortunately. And he put in a fantastic turn in Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. However, when you look at the nominations this year, there was some red flags in there. Whoever came up with the nominations, I don't think watched some of the movies, because some of the nominations simply don't make sense. First of all, Mank should not have been nominated for Best Picture. Boring as hell. Secondly, you've got the Best Supporting Actor category, which featured both Daniel Kaluuya, who won the award, and Lakeith Stanfield, both of whom were in the movie Judas and the Black Messiah. They were both the main characters. Although I would claim that Lakeith Stanfield was the main actor and Daniel Kaluuya was the supporting actor. Therefore, Lakeith Stanfield was in the wrong category at the Academy Awards. And similarly, Chadwick Boseman was a supporting actor in Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. He played the secondary character. So he should have been up for Best Supporting Actor and possibly should have won that award. Although Daniel Kaluuya is fantastic in Judas and the Black Messiah. There seem to be some mix-ups within the nominations themselves. But overall, you kind of just gotta say, bit of a shit show overall. Kind of a disaster. And then afterwards it came out that it was one of the worst watched Academy Award ceremonies of all time. Not only did it look terrible, it was pretty boring, but nobody was tuning in. Because have people lost interest in the Academy Awards? It certainly seems so. Because in the age of technology, where we can pick up our phones and find out any information at the touch of a finger, or touch of a button, I should say, touch of a finger is kind of weird. At a time when we get information at the press of a button on our phones, do we need this big elaborate ceremony anymore? Does anybody care? Nobody cares about half the awards at it, like best makeup or costume design. Fantastic for the people that win it or are nominated for it, but general public generally don't give a shit. We want to see the big awards: Best Picture, Best Director, Best Actor, Best Actress, maybe Best Supporting Actor and Actress. But even then, you could have Best Actor and combine both men and women in there. Maybe have like 10 nominees. Best Supporting Actor featuring men and women, again 10 nominees. Cut it down a little bit. Maybe have more comedy in there, and maybe have the whole show be a maximum of an hour long, because no one wants to sit through that shit. That's evident by the numbers. So is the Academy Awards dead in a sense? While everyone wants to see the awards, no one wants to see the ceremony, it seems. And even still, 9 times out of 10, the picture that wins the Best Picture award isn't that great, let's be honest there. That's why I haven't seen Nomadland. I've heard nothing but amazing praise about it, and my expectations are super high for when I do watch it, because apparently it's one of the greatest movies ever made. According to the reviews and all the push for getting so many awards, I'm expecting a super spectacular movie here. I'm just hoping it's not been hyped up way too much, because it sounds like it has. Although we'll wait and see. As I say, I'm hoping next week I'll have a movie review out for that on the channel. But I'd love to know your opinions, guys. Do you think the Academy Awards actually matter anymore? Did you watch the ceremony? Do you care about it? And let me know if any of the winners caught you off guard this year. But with that being said and done, let's take a look at some of the trailers that popped out this week. So there wasn't too much movie news going on this week, but there was certainly a lot of trailers hitting the world. One that really caught my eye was Disney Pixar's Luca.
We do not go anywhere near the surface. Got it?
Everything good is above the surface. Walking, air, the sky, clouds, the sun. Whoa, don't look at it. Just kidding. Definitely look at it.
I think I mentioned previously on the show, I'm fully expecting Luca not to live up to expectations because Pixar, they've been on a roll recently. They've hit some fantastic movies. They've just been going from strength to strength to strength. Obviously, Soul was phenomenal, in my opinion. If you've seen my review, you know how much I love that movie. And then stuff like Onwards, it was Onwards, wasn't it? Or was it Upwards? Onwards. Onwards was pretty good as well. In recent years, they've just been going from strength to strength. But there has to stop somewhere, surely. There has to be a bad apple amongst the bunch. And I'm fully expecting Luca to be that. Although, I could be completely wrong and it could blow me away. And then again, I'm a grown-ass man talking about an animated movie, whether it's going to be amazing or not. So, that's a thing. I love Disney, I love Pixar, I've always loved the animation. They tell some great stories. Soul, in particular, blew me away. But Luca definitely looks like it's aimed at a younger market. Probably won't be my cup of tea, but we'll wait and see. I'm willing to be surprised, and I'm hoping I'm going to be wrong on my opinion there. But taking a complete left turn away from an animated Disney movie, a movie that's coming out, which is definitely interesting, is Spiral from the Book of Saw. A new clip hit this week, and it looks like this.
You pull a gun on your old man? You out of your f***ing mind? I could have killed you.
What are you talking about? I got the gun.
I could have killed you.
How'd you get in here?
You forget who the landlord is?
Yeah, but that doesn't give you the right to just walk in here anytime you want. Renters got rights.
You start paying some rent, you can get some rights.
So I mentioned a few weeks ago when we showed some of the trailer for this movie, we're delving back into the world of Saw, but now we've got Samuel L. Jackson in there, he is in most franchises at this stage, and Chris Rock. If you told me you can guess any actor in the world that's in the new Saw movie, I would never in a million years guess Chris Rock. But he's in there. It looks interesting. I'm not gonna lie, it looks interesting, but I think I'm over the whole Saw thing. It's been going on for so long now. They need to move on to a new horror thing, a new franchise. It's kind of like the horror version of Fast and Furious. Like, you've seen the first couple, you know what to expect. One movie I don't know what to expect too much of. It's a new Chris Pratt movie, The Tomorrow War. Or the War of Tomorrow, the Tomorrow War, something like that. So a trailer released, a teaser trailer, I'm going to show it to you now in a second, but it might be the most generic trailer that gives away nothing at all about the movie that I've ever seen. Take a look.
We are fighting a war 30 years in the future. Our enemy is not human.
So they don't give away a whole lot about the movie. There's a woman says we're fighting a war in the future, and then there's like an alien. So that's about as much as we get. Seems very bland on the face of it, but maybe they're keeping their cards close to their chest and this movie's gonna be super amazing. It's probably gonna be terrible, let's be honest. It seems to be that there's a war in the future, hence the Tomorrow War, and people travel back in time to recruit people for their future war, and then they go forward and have to fight these aliens to save the future. They're going back to the future to save the past. Wait, I've seen that. My expectations for the Tomorrow War are super low, so they can't really disappoint. I'm expecting it to be terrible. Let me know your opinions on the Tomorrow War. Do you think it's going to be good? Do you think it's going to be bad? And is it the worst trailer you've ever seen? But as I say, there's been plenty of trailers this week, and one that doesn't look too bad is The Misfits.
Chase here, Shirley. We got the same piece of crap on our shoes. Warner Schultz. He owns prisons in the Middle East.
Facility state of the art. One of the most modern prisons on Earth.
There's millions of dollars worth of gold in one of those locations.
We can try and stop that gold from financing terrorism.
Steal their gold, stop the terrorists. Let's go to prison, shall we? Oh, I only fly first class. Why isn't anyone saying anything?
Misfits right there, starring Tim Roth and former James Bond, Pierce Brosnan. Getting back into the mainstream there in a big movie. It looks like a lot of fun. I can't wait to see that one. It's another action movie, and a man who loves his action, Jason Statham. Wow, I'm really linking these really well. Jason Statham has a new movie called The Man of Wrath, and it looks like this.
I need to know who's responsible. I killed my son.
We've deployed large amounts of time, money, and effort in the search for justice.
Not good enough. It's gotta be an inside job.
You're gonna have to go undercover, boss, as an armored truck driver.
So it's a basic revenge story. A man's son is killed and he's out for revenge, and Jason Statham's gonna kill some people and do some action and shoot some guns and kill people and Jason Statham stuff. The next trailer is for a movie which is a remake. And already you might be going, oh no, another remake, another reboot. But it's a remake of a movie that has 10 Academy Awards to its name. A movie from 1961. A movie called West Side Story.
There's a place for us somewhere, a place for us.
Now, if you didn't know, this movie is a Steven Spielberg movie. Yes, the master of cinema, Steven Spielberg, has taken West Side Story on as a reboot. I think it might be his first reboot. I might be wrong there, but I think it might be one of his first reboots anyway. He's a master filmmaker. If anybody's going to make a reboot, you trusted Steven Spielberg. Surely he's going to do amazing. West Side Story is one of the most popular musical films of all time. As I say, 10 Academy Awards, not too shabby. And it's generally considered by many people to be one of the best movies ever made. So it's got a lot to live up to, this new one. Will it do it? Maybe. The trailer looks interesting. It's got Steven Spielberg behind it. It's got everything it needs to be amazing. We'll wait and see what happens. Let me know your thoughts on the reboot of West Side Story by Steven Spielberg. That's even weird to say. With all those trailers out of the way, let's take a look at Amazon's latest release, Without Remorse. Without Remorse is a movie starring Michael B. Jordan from Amazon Prime. Amazon Prime exclusive, based on a Tom Clancy novel. Tom Clancy has been responsible for some of the biggest action stories of the last 20, 30 years. If you like video games, you may recognize his name from the likes of Splinter Cell or Rainbow Six. A lot of his books have been turned into movies or video games. The man knows how to write action. So when I saw this, I saw Amazon were really pushing this one hard. I don't think I've seen Amazon push any movie as hard in the last year or so as they have Without Remorse. Without Remorse. That's what I meant to say. They've been pushing this one really hard. I've been seeing ads for it everywhere. Posters, Facebook ads, Twitter ads. They've even got some streamers playing some special games linked to the movie. They've been pushing this one exceptionally hard. So I thought this is going to be a fantastic movie. Michael B. Jordan, very good actor, based on Tom Clancy novel. And the action looked interesting from the trailer. And I watched it. I got pretty bored very quickly. The thing about Without Remorse, it's the most generic action movie I have ever seen. It's like if you sat a toddler down to watch every action movie, every like Steven Seagal and Arnold Schwarzenegger movie and Jason Statham movie, and said, okay, write me a story. Well, it would kind of be a prick thing to do because you're asking a toddler to write a movie. You get my point. Someone who hasn't seen all the action movies, you sit them down and they just let them watch like 20 action movies and then ask them to write an action movie. This is what they would write, Without Remorse. I'm sure the novel was much better, but this movie was just awful from start to finish. So they start out and show some army guys, then they show them going home. And of course, the main character, Michael B. Jordan, goes home to his loving wife, who's with child. She's about to give birth in like a month's time, and they're all happy families. Everyone's getting on great. Then they cut to another soldier from his team, and he's at home. He goes to put out the bins. Now, this guy might be the worst soldier of all time because he goes and walks right out onto the road, doesn't have any peripheral vision because he goes and steps in front of his bins, and out of nowhere, a van comes along and just smacks him and just runs over him. The guy couldn't see him in his peripheral vision, didn't hear the van coming, just let this van run over him while his kids are watching from the house. So, okay, we'll forgive that one. It was just really stupid filmmaking because how the guy wouldn't, who's like an army guy who'd be like fully aware of his surroundings or should be aware of his surroundings even when at home, just was completely incompetent. Apparently he went deaf on the spot, couldn't hear the van coming, couldn't see it in his peripheral vision, didn't notice it when he was walking out to put the bins out. He just gets run over. So then they establish that there's these guys going around, they're taking out Michael B. Jordan's team. And then Michael B. Jordan's lying on a couch, listening to some music, eating some nuts. Pistachio nuts, and his wife has gone to bed, and of course she just happens to be lying on his side of the bed, which they've established earlier in the movie. So these guys break into the house and they cut the power off to the house. Michael B. Jordan's laptop turns off because Science. So the guys go upstairs and they kill his wife, and of course now he has to get redemption. I'm pretty sure I've seen this thing 1,000 times before. Army guy comes home, loving partner gets killed, guy wants revenge. So from then on, you know, Michael B. Jordan, he's trying to find out who the fourth guy was, because there was like 4 guys in the house, one of them got away. He's trying to find out who the fourth guy is, and he wants to kill him. So he goes about trying to figure that out. And they come to some Russian guy, and he pours petrol on a car, and he gets into the car while it's on fire, because why not? The car definitely wouldn't explode when it's on fire. And then he gets the information he wants, he kills the guy, and then he gets arrested. He goes to prison, the prison guards are about to beat him up, and he beats the hell out of some riot police because he's Superman. And then the other army guys, the other government guys that we've seen, they've established there's 2 government guys. There's also a woman who we've seen in this one scene, and she has like 2 lines. She's irrelevant. There's 2 main guys. One guy who are clearly like, this is Michael B. Jordan's rival. They don't like each other. And this other guy who's being super helpful. Now, which of these 2 government guys do you think is going to be, you know, the one at the end turns on them as actually the bad guy? Is it going to be the guy who they're saying, hey, look how evil this guy is? Or is it going to be the guy who's like, oh, look how helpful this guy is. He's doing all he can to help Michael B. Jordan. You've got your 2 options. Take a guess at which one turns evil is actually the bad guy. Here's a hint, it's not the guy they're pretending is evil. Now, the movie does have 1 or 2 good scenes. The main one being the scene when all the army guys are pinned down in a building, and there's a bit of tension as to what's going to happen. But there's even a point where Michael B. Jordan in that scene puts his hand out and he's got a mirror in his hand. And we can see from the sniper's perspective, he can clearly get a clear visual of Michael B. Jordan's hand sticking out far from the wall. His rifle is positioned to shoot him right in the hand, and he somehow misses the shot. He's got a very clear shot, he's got it lined up perfectly, and he still misses the shot. So the sniper is useless. He should have been able to shoot Michael B. Jordan's hand there. But long and short of it is they all escape, and then Michael B. Jordan finds out who the real bad guy is. And then ultimately we get to a scene where they're in a boat, and the guy they've set up as Michael B. Jordan's rival that he doesn't like. Oh yeah, the whole thing is that Michael B. Jordan's going back to prison after helping the guards or helping the army people. So he's got nothing to lose type of thing. They should have called the movie Nothing to Lose, it would have been a better title. So he's in a boat with this guy who they've set up. He doesn't like this guy. So Michael B. Jordan says something about going back to prison, and the guy who's clearly his rival, he says to him, there's a duffel bag of money downstairs, go take it and rebuild your life, or something to that effect. So Michael B. Jordan just stares at him and goes, I was wrong about you. Now, in fairness, if someone hands me a bag of money, even someone I hate, I'm still gonna go, yeah, I like you now, basic. You know, I'm sure the Tom Clancy novel was very interesting and very good, but the script for this movie was horrendous. Some of the dialogue, absolutely abysmal. They didn't do too bad with the action. It wasn't like super jumpy, unnecessary, super fast cuts. You could see most of the action when it was happening. Some of the action was pretty damn good. The scene where Michael B. Jordan is fighting the riot police in the prison, that was pretty decent. So the action isn't too much of a problem. The cinematography and everything was fine and special. Just the story was just so generic. The acting for the most part was terrible. And it had this really weird issue with the audio. I don't know if it was just playback for me through my Amazon Fire Stick, but playback was really weird in terms of the audio, in that some of the overdubbing just didn't fit. It wasn't synced up properly in places. And that's what made me think it's not my device. You know, sometimes you have to restart the device, it might go out of sync, because some scenes were out of sync and some scenes weren't. And some scenes just were badly mixed. The audio wasn't good. And some scenes it was very hard to hear people, they were mumbling a lot. The audio on this movie was one of the worst I've heard in a long time, probably since Tenet actually. The weird thing about this movie is, for a movie that Amazon pushed so hard, it has absolutely nothing special about it. Nothing stand out from an action movie point of view. But then again, maybe this is a dead genre, because action movies, yeah, they've been great down the years, fantastic. But for the most part, they're pretty much the same. And they've kind of been replaced. When I say replaced, I'm talking about video games, of course. Because video games in this genre, they're action-packed. The person playing the game has full control over their character, the narrative of the story. They can interact with the story, and it's far more entertaining. They can get more immersed in that world. But with a movie, you just kind of have to follow the story along. It might be 90 minutes, more than likely going to be a minimum of 2 hours. And they don't have the same impact that the video games can, so they're chasing their tails now. And sure, not everybody plays video games, but for the most part, especially going forward in the future, where the number of people who do play video games is constantly increasing, This genre might be one genre that just fades away, or at least dies down a good bit because they can't keep up with the other technology. That's the thing with these action movies, unless they're going to do something spectacular with the action, have some amazing scenes. I'm not talking Michael Bay level explosions all the time, but they need to have some explosive action and some ridiculously good stories, not just a guy getting a revenge because a family member was killed or because his dog was killed. There needs to be a better story behind these action movies, and there needs to be better action within these movies. These action movies especially now need to have 2 or 3 major scenes that make people jump out of their seat and go, holy flip. And Without Remorse certainly does not have anything like that. From about 15 minutes in, you will know precisely where this movie is going, down to the letter. If you've ever seen a movie before and someone said to me on Twitter, you'll know exactly what's going to happen in this movie. Terrible, right from the start. As I say, audio issues in there. Some of the acting, not from Michael B. Jordan, but mostly from everyone else, is horrendous. The story was really bad. The script was really bad, I mean. I'm sure the novel was pretty good. I haven't read it, but Tom Clancy's stuff is generally decent. And overall, the movie, as I've said a couple of times, has nothing special about it. It's not a standout movie, and I don't think anyone's going to talk about this even after a month's time. It's a bad movie. For me, it's a 2 out of 10 movie, and that's being very generous because it almost got a 1. So in my opinion, don't waste your time. Don't waste an hour and 50 minutes of your life watching this terrible movie. There's much better things to spend your time on. There's much better movies to spend your time on. And if you want some opinions on movies to check out, just check out the channel. See the ones with the green thumbs up, and they'll be the ones that I suggest you check out. So folks, that's all we've got on the Movie Film Show this week. And of course, like always, for any trailers or clips featured on the show, they will be linked in the description below so you can check out the full trailers for anything featured on this week's show. And let me know your opinions on anything we featured here today. And if you enjoyed the Movie Film Show, there's one every single Monday, 8 p.m. GMT. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss a show. With all that said and done, thank you so much for watching.